Crime is top of mind as the legislature debates bail reform. The mayor worries about everything from gun violence to shoplifting, and progressives in the city council want to defund the cops. We talk all things criminal justice with a man who knows the issue from the street up. The Point starts right now. I'm joined today by George Grasso, who rose from beat cop to first deputy commissioner of the NYPD, then spent years as a judge. Now he wants to become Queens district attorney, challenging the current district attorney, Melinda Katz, in the Democratic primary. Now, we asked Melinda Katz to also appear on The Point, but a spokesman said she was too busy being the district attorney to stop by. So here's the question, Mr. Grasso. Why have you decided to challenge the sitting district attorney?
Because our city is undergoing what I believe to be a politically driven crime wave. Starting in 2019 with the ill-conceived so-called bail criminal justice reform by the New York State Legislature, where they unconscionably refused to talk to judges like me, victim rights advocates, district attorneys, and they refused to give judges the ability to use dangerousness.
Wait, I gotta stop. You said it's a politically driven crime wave. Really? Yes. That's how you really feel?
Yes.
Because they refuse to talk to judges about what they need to do?
Because of what the outcome that we're seeing now in terms of the crime. You can make a straight line from what happened in the 2019 reforms into 2020, and we're seeing crime throughout the city that was unleashed in ways that we wouldn't have seen before.
So are you saying that the legislature is out of touch with the people that they represent?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I think that they were unfortunately being driven by hard left progressives, and they refuse to take an objective and balanced approach. And this is something I called out publicly back in February of 2020. I was at a forum at your college, and I explained that unless they immediately reconvene, this is before any of this began kicking in, and did this right, and did a fair, balanced analysis, that there would be severe and drastic implications to public safety. Unfortunately, I'm proven right about this. In Queens County, during the tender of the incumbent district attorney, Melinda Katz, is seeing some of the worst increases in crime throughout the city. Wait
a second. I got to stop you. You can't. Can you blame the district attorney for increases in crime? Isn't it the job of the NYPD to fight crime, not the district attorney? Explain that to me.
The district attorney, by law, is the chief law enforcement officer of the county that he or she serves. The district attorney can set priorities and sets the tone. Queens South, over the last 2 years, is up over 40% in the major index crimes. Queens North...
Is that her fault?
Wait, let me finish. Queens North is up over 66%. Quality of life enforcement is basically non-existent in Queens County. People are selling drugs on the street, Class B felonies. They're selling pills infused with fentanyl, and people are dying all over Queens. The district attorney needs to speak about this. She never even talks about what's going on with crime. She never even talks about quality of life enforcement. If you don't recognize the problem, you can't solve the problem. So I'm going to not only recognize the problem on my website, grassoforqueens.com. I have a platform. The first item on the platform is how to get quality of life enforcement back in Queens. The police department, police officers are out in the field. They're working as hard as they can. They're making arrests. Nothing is happening with shoplifting is off the hook.
But how can you pin the crime wave on the district attorney and not say that the NYPD should be doing more to be fighting crime?
Because the district attorney must set the tone. We have a district attorney in Queens who was term limited as borough president. She had no significant background in criminal justice, in defense, either as a defense attorney, as a prosecutor. So now she's out of her depth. And she's dictated by the political winds So she doesn't talk about quality of life. She doesn't talk about crime. She doesn't lead. Sure, when they make a bust, she'll show up at the press conference with a lot of guns on the table. That's great. That's down the middle of the plate for what DAs do. But at this time especially, we need a district attorney who understands the criminal justice system, who understands how to get crime down. And I was part of the team with Commissioner Braden in the mid-90s when crime was much worse in New York City, and we turned it around. And essential to what we did was the partnership that we had with district attorneys, with things like quality of, and by the way, I played a role in actually writing the first quality of life strategy for the NYPD when I was in the Deputy Commissioner of Legal Matters as a captain at the time.
All right, I want to play your game for a minute. So, according to your own website, she has, as a district attorney, has fallen down in terms of making felony cases. Your statistics show that in 2019, 1,582 felony convictions were made by the district attorney in Queens. In 2020, it fell to 657, and in which is her first year in office. In 2021, it was 727. So that was a cut of more than half. But here's the question. Is it fair to slam the district attorney for a drop in felony convictions when we all know that during the pandemic, the courts were basically not in full swing?
A conviction rate of 5%, which was the conviction rate, felony conviction rate of the Queens District Attorney in 2021, according to the DCJS statistics that are the most recently available, is an abomination. There has to be a better way to do it.
But can't you blame the fact that the courts weren't functioning? Isn't that part of it?
We're not playing the blame game. Like I keep going back to, a district attorney is the chief law enforcement officer of the county. So with a minimum, you have to put this stuff out there publicly, and you have to lean into it. And right now, sadly and tragically for the people of Queens, we don't have that in the current district attorney.
So do you think that this happened because, and I'm just throwing these out as ideas, that maybe they were plea bargaining and bargaining down felonies to misdemeanors, or was it something, you know, were cases dismissed by a judge?
Here's what I know. When I get elected, and I will get elected on November 7th because I'm the right person with the right issues at the right time, I am going to do a top-to-bottom review. I'm going to do an MRI of the Queens District Attorney's Office. We're going to get to the bottom of why the DA, that district attorney's office, which had been a leader in this area before Melinda Katz became district attorney, we're going to make Queens district attorney a leader again. That's what I will do. That's a pledge to the people of Queens.
What's your sense? I mean, you've been in the court system, you've been a police officer, you've been a high-ranking person in the NYPD, you've been a high-ranking person in the entire judiciary system. What's your sense about what led to this amazing drop in felony convictions?
I think it's a totality of circumstances. I really do believe that. I think that somehow assertive prosecutions fell out of favor, and there was a paradigm created in this city that people who are going to be district attorney are going to think more like the chief defender, the chief public defender, than the chief law enforcement officer. It's the paradigm in New York City right now over the last several years is a very dangerous paradigm. We're far from where we were in the mid-90s, thank God. Well, as you remember, we had over 2,000 homicides a year. But the trend lines are all bad. I think that Mayor Adams really has the right message, but every time Mayor Adams articulates reality, such as calling for a Plan B to close Rikers Island, because the current plan is not going to work, it's based on an artificially low daily head count, he gets attacked from all sides. He needs district attorneys in New York City that will stand up beside him and tell the people the truth.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it right there for now, but our conversation continues right after the show on our streaming channel, CBS News New York.